My friend, my partner in crime, Declan, how are you?
Good. Did you say, or how are you firstly?
Good and yourself?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Did you say partner in crime in honour of all the lovely Valentine's Day posts that you saw?
Yeah.
On socials on Monday?
I did. Did you see one of our great mates? He offended. He was a I think he's a serial offender each year.
Yeah, I did see. He put a little something up.
My queen.
You
know, credit to him. Credit to Jess.
Mate, maybe he's going for the King of Spin moniker.
Ahoy.
Potentially. Yes. Partner in crime. Ride or die. Yeah, there's a few different words that people call their better halves. A few different phrases. Not really personally one for it.
No. Did you do anything for Valentine's Day?
No. Oh, look, got G a flower, but like a little,
that's something.
like a red rose.
That's something.
There's actually a brand new florist that opened up in the city. It's pretty expensive, called Woolworths. So yeah, went down there and spent a fortune on a rose. And you know, I'm not a big sort of Valentine's Day guy, and G's not a big Valentine's Day girl. So I didn't really go out for dinner or anything. Went out for dinner last night, and I guess that's close enough.
Well, you can't get a table, can you? It was a Monday this year. Tough stuff.
Yeah, you can't get a table. Plus, I don't want to be out with every Tom, Dick and Harry. And
especially in these times, the unwashed, please.
100%.
No way.
I don't want to be sitting there thinking, shit, where are all the dogs? Because every man's here.
Woof, woof.
Yeah, exactly. Did you want to do anything for Valentine's Day, mate? Yeah.
No, well, Prue has been looking after her mum because she got both her knees sliced up under medical supervision.
Yeah, it was on purpose.
Yeah, it was on purpose. So she's been looking after her mum as the saint that she is, but sent her a nice text. We basically saw each other every day anyway when we were shifting tin at the gym in the morning, you know. So gave her a nice peck on the cheek and nice lovely text message.
What a romantic guy.
But, mate, even if I wanted to do anything on Monday, I couldn't because some wit parked across my driveway.
Yeah, how's that? It's the irony.
Mate.
The irony. We were just talking about on our other podcast, Couldn't Yourself Get Around It, with our good mate Bradley. We were talking about things that really pissed us off and traffic etiquette and things that happen in the car. You know, it was a topic that we sort of went into a bit of depth about, and this happens to you the very next day.
So I tried to go to the gym on Monday morning, but, you know, crack of dawn, first light, start the car up, go to leave the driveway, and there is a car just parked right across it. I look around, there is about 50,000 parks in our street that they haven't chosen to use.
Oh, dick move.
So I was like, all right, look, I'm not going to ruin this person's day. I'll give them till 7 a.m. Because that's when I basically leave for work.
Reasonable. So
I was like, I have my laptop. I can work from home if need be. I feel more productive in the office.
Yeah, I'm the same.
So 7 o'clock rolls around. They're still there. All right. Sorry, mate. Ringing the council. We'll get someone out there within 3 hours. 3 hours rolls around. Someone, Johnny in his high vis, knocks on the door. He's like, hey, mate, we've given this fella a fine. Do you want us to tow it? I was like, well, that's not really my job, is it? Isn't that your call?
Yeah. Just absolutely drunk on power. It's like, yes, do it. Take it all.
I was like, ideally, I'd leave my house today, mate. So if that's, you know.
Yeah, I'd love to. Like, I don't want to be a prisoner.
Yeah, I was like, you know, it sucks for that person. He's like, nah, don't worry, mate. We'll tow it. I'm like, oh, sounds good. Thanks for that. Mate, 10 minutes later, a tow truck was there. And it was like in between cars. And I was like, how are they going to do this? And they just dragged that thing.
Mate,
it's unbelievable.
Zero cares given. Yeah, look, I think there's almost like a tow truck lurking around every corner.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Just waiting for the opportunity.
100%.
They charge an absolute fortune.
100%. Well, I thought that might have been like the low light of my week, but it was actually yesterday when Bill retired.
Yeah, that was some sad news. Suspensory ligament issue. She was in for a massive prep. probably culminating in a run in the Queen Elizabeth, which I don't know if she would have finished into the numbers, but she's certainly in that upper echelon of horses that race in Australia, that's for sure.
Yeah,
well, she was.
She started favourite in the All-Star Mile last year until the heavens opened up for Mugatoo right before the race. So she would have been right in the thick of it.
Yep.
Would have probably been there in the Futurity against Tefane, which would have been a cracking contest. So
would have been a great race, yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame, but, it's horse racing. These things happen.
These things happen. Look, at least that she, at least at the very least, she's had at least in the very least. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. She's had a great career. She'll be a very valuable broodmare. It's a shame, but look, backed her a few times in some big races and she came up with the chockies. So, I wouldn't say she was the top of the list for me, but I had a lot of respect for Probabile.
Especially, 1,100 metres first up Caulfield. She did a lot of work for the punters over the last 3 preps.
Oh, enormous work, especially after last weekend.
Yeah.
And I tell myself this every weekend. So many things are first up, mate. Just keep your powder dry. I just can't help myself. I just absolutely launched into a few things, which in retrospect was a silly thing to do.
Sure.
Have I learnt my lessons? No, probably not. Have my fingers been burnt? To smithereens. But what were your thoughts on the weekend of racing? I know we're practically a week later. What was your biggest thing that you sort of took out of the weekend?
2-year-olds, that picture's no clearer for mine.
The Blue Diamond and Golden Slipper waters are murky.
Yeah, especially the Blue Diamond. I think it's just going to come up real close or quickly, for lack of a better word. For what we've currently got, the one that interests me the most, I think, was Lofty Strike. Quite an impressive win. And Similian back on the inside on the inferior ground. I think that horse was pretty impressive.
Yep. And you found a winner.
Yeah, Revolutionary Miss was good. And Dormier wasn't too bad in the Colts and Geldings too. So Revolutionary Miss, Snowden's, how do you let a Snowden 2-year-old go around at $12?
Yeah, so true. They do it every year. They produce good ones. From what we've seen so far, the fillies are running slicker times than the blokes. Oh, do I think that a filly will definitely win the Blue Diamond? No.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter at this stage. Something could come out of the woodwork and blow them away. I think Jacquino, however you say it, flopped out of the gates, was in the inferior part of the ground, made a decent amount of, ground up on everyone else. So, yeah, I think, the jury's still out on him, but I still think he's a better horse than what he showed on the weekend.
Yeah. Reminded me a lot of Artorias.
Yeah.
Has something special about him, just needs to put it all together.
Yep.
I think Mick Price was saying they're taking him back to the trials and putting a barrier blanket over him to try and get him moving out of the gates.
He was leaning at towards the back of the gates, and hence why he sort of flopped out.
He's not into butt stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes flopping out though. The thing that I sort of took out from the weekend, not that Espiona's not living up to the hype. I just think Fangirl's a really good horse too. I think, Chris Waller's got 2 really strong 3-year-old fillies that I think will be sparring partners for the rest of the autumn.
He said that prior to the race too.
Yeah.
He said, can't believe the price about Fangirl. He said Espiona's going great, but Fangirl was arguably his best horse, 3-year-old for the spring. So, it's going to be quite interesting. And with Argentia resuming in Melbourne, she's going to go back into Sydney and probably contest out the surround as well. So that'll be super interesting. They're definitely the 3, and then you have Jamea.
Yeah, she's an honest horse, that's for sure. Her racing pattern doesn't obviously help her out, but she could improve.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously the Group 1, Tefane was brilliant.
Tefane was great.
Mark Zara was even better, just leaving immediately after the race to go to Super Bowl.
Yeah, which would have been cracking, especially seeing that halftime show.
Huge.
Tefane, to be honest, pulled my pants down. I looked at her, but and I read during the week that she was looking better than what she's ever had fresh. But just that first up profile, and I just preferred others. Yeah. Others preferred.
1,400 metres, just right in her sweet spot.
Yeah.
And she's an elite 1400 meter horse. Goes to the futurity. Penciled in for mine.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah. So, no, a good week of racing, mate. Look, you know what we should do? We should just get into the Group 1.
Yeah, let's get straight into it.
Now, gee whiz, this could be already the race of the autumn.
It could be. We were talking about the CF4 last week being one of the greatest additions in recent memory. Say something similar about the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes. It is a cracking race.
Yeah, and, usually the Group 1 season gets off to a bit of a crawling start. Like last year, Nature Strip beat off September Run, who was flying at the time, but has since just been awful, and then swots that into third. So it's definitely wasn't a vintage edition.
No, it wasn't.
Now you have some of the best sprinters on the planet here. Eduardo, Master Crusader, Guitra, the Inferno's not too bad, and obviously the big boy Nature Strip.
Yeah, and then you've got some exciting 3-year-olds in Home Affairs and Profiteer. You've got Swats that backing up. Could she produce another top 3 finish here? Oh, look, I don't think so, mate.
I don't think so. Need to see her again. She did finish off quite well last prep, so I do like seeing that. When they finish off well, I think they'll come back and you can probably trust them first up. But then you saw what Nature Strip did in the VRC Sprint, and it's like, gee whiz.
Yeah.
Deserved $2.60 favourite.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's got every right to be the $2.60 favourite here with Nads, highest rated sprinter in the world.
Yeah.
Won an Everest.
Yeah. 1,000 metres.
Yeah, I still think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that makes it more competitive between him and Eduardo. I think Eduardo's beat him twice, over ground less than 1,200 metres.
Yeah, over the 1,000 and the 1,100.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, look, no surprise here. I'm a big fan of Nature Strip. He's burnt me a few times, but I think, over the last sort of 12 months, he's just relaxed as a horse. He's not getting out front and just overdoing it. He's working into it. I think it's sort of interesting that Jamie Carr's on him and not J-Mac, but I think there's probably something going on in the background with Coolmore and J-Mac being on Home Affairs. Look, does he lose that much Nature Strip with Jamie Carr on board? I don't think so. Potentially some familiarity with the jockey. J-Mac knows all his quirks, but Jamie Carr rode him last year in this exact race and he won.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up J-Mac because I know... Well, I don't know, but I have a fair idea what is going on here. So I found out this during the week, which I thought was fascinating. So the jockeys that get, well, for Coolmore at least, but it can apply for other big breeding syndicates or,
like Darley and Godolphin or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the jockey that gets home a colt in their first Group 1 win, when they go to stud, that jockey gets a stake or their stud fee for the rest of their breeding career.
Yes.
So that's basically, say, Home Affairs goes for 80K stud fee. J-Mac just sews up 80K for the rest of Home Affairs when he's just doing his best work.
Yeah. That's exactly right. So I think that's probably what's happened here. Coolmore's basically just said, what about this? And he said, sure thing. He loves Nature Strip, got an affinity with that horse, but, money talks. Eduardo's not one of mine, but I certainly respect the horse. I was on Home Affairs when he won the Coolmore, so I'm a big fan of him too. But I just don't think he measures up to Nature Strip and Eduardo, not yet at least. And if he did, I'd be surprised and good on him. Yeah. He's still got his nuts and he'll be a very, very valuable horse, even more so if he wins this. But I've got Nature Strip winning this.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you see the very nice work that Joe Pride's stable put out on social media today?
Yeah, taking a bit of a stab at the NS.
Yeah, we might just put it up around here on the podcast. But Pride Racing, Eduardo eating Nature Strip for breakfast before heading to Flemington tonight. So now, have a look at this photo, right, of Eduardo. Bit of a mug or two about him. He's looking jacked.
He is looking filthy. Filthy jacked. He's looking really good, Eduardo. He's primed for this. He's a great horse, mate.
Now, both of us have been very big potters of Eduardo in the past. egg on our face in what would have been the Classic Legends Stakes last year.
Yes.
Over the 1,300 metres, but definitely not the field that he sees here. I think this horse is absolutely tippy-top elite sprinters at 1,000 metres at 1,100. He's my on toppy.
Yeah, fair.
Here. His straight form isn't as good as, say, a Nature Strip or a Geetra.
Yeah, but that was before he was with Joe Pride.
Yeah, and he did have one really good run down the straight as well. So he's definitely going better here. He flies first up. He's beaten Nature Strip first up previously. The other horse that's beaten Nature Strip first up over 1,000 metres is Geetra.
Geetra. Yeah, he sure has.
But I don't think Geetra's going as well.
Nah.
I had a look. He's had 5 starts over the last 12 months and he's finished third twice.
Mm.
Arguably, first up, last prep, he should have beaten Eduardo on Nature Strip, but ultimately he didn't.
Yeah.
So Eduardo on top for mine. Nash comes down for the ride. Obviously, I have NS in for second. And I think Mars Crusader down the straight, that's who I'm really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, there'll be pace on, so he could unleash in the final 200 and get there. I've got a feeling that he might leave his run a little bit too late and, maybe the 1,100 or the 1,200 would see him home. But look, apparently he's matured. Hopefully he's sorted his barrier problems out a little bit because if he sorts them out, he'll be, one of our best sprinters he is already pretty much, but... I've got Nature Strip on top. I've got Home Affairs second, just sort of like that horse, and Eduardo I think will hang on for third. Of the others, look, I don't really see anything else threatening. Profiteer could run well. Maybe he'll mature. Maybe they're looking to get him into a handicap sprint race, but he's not one of mine.
He's definitely not one of mine. They've been holding him off. So they've been settling him off the pace in his latest jump out, so they might try and settle him down. I just think he crumbles under pressure, and there's going to be Eduardo going forward here, Nature Strip, obviously.
Home Affairs will go forward.
Home Affairs, I think there will be enough pace there, and that's what I love about Eduardo, especially because he's drawn next to Nature Strip. I think he's just going to eyeball him and just stay right there and just annoy him. And when that's happened to Nature Strip in the past, he's crumbled a bit. But it's not grand final day for Nature Strip.
No.
I think Eduardo knows. Well, he doesn't know. Joe Pride knows.
No, Eduardo personally knows. So I'm not going to get him in the TJ. I'll get him here. Yeah, fair. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins.
So anyway, we have a bloody brilliant guest about to join us here. So let's give him a bell.
Buzz.
Hello.
Darcy.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Good, mate. All right, Drifters, this is a big one. We have Darcy from Bloody Brilliant Beers. I reckon it's fair to say it might be the fastest growing podcast in Brisbane.
Probably the second fastest after ours. How you going, mate?
That's massive. Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Mate, thanks so much for coming on. Tell us about the podcast. How's it going? It's you've got a great following on Instagram at Bloody Brilliant Beers, and you also dabble in some merch gear, and you're putting out beers. You're just absolutely tearing this thing apart.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one and a bit of a long and very random story, so you have to bear with me. But my mate Josh, who I do it all with, Clutzy, he used to work at this burger bar for anyone in Brisbane, Miss K's.
Yep.
Flipping burgers, and they used to always get different craft beers on tap. And Clutzy and I we'd just drink gold every time we went out. We're mates from school. I've known him forever, and he used to, at the end of his shift, send me these Snapchats of him reviewing these different craft beers, and they were so funny. Like, it's just a bit of a piss take, but hilarious. And I always laughed at it. But then one day I went to the Bottle-O and thought I'd try something different, but didn't have any of his videos, obviously, because they're all Snapchats.
Yeah.
So we actually started a Facebook group with like 3 or 4 of our mates, and just started posting like comical reviews on there and made it so that members can invite their friends, and it just sort of blew up. And it's got like 8,000 members at the moment.
Holy shit!
But yeah, we pretty quickly realised like shit, we could this could sort of live outside the group. So I just amazing idea to start a podcast and interview different Brisbane brewers and things like that, asking how they got into the industry and that sort of stuff. And the whole idea was just sort of bringing your average 4X Gold drinker across to try some of these interesting beers. But then COVID sort of hit us and we couldn't leave the house to talk to anyone. So we literally just started doing a podcast via Zoom every week and talking absolute trash. And it just sort of spiraled from there into, I don't even know how to explain it now. It's just absolute drivel basically. But yeah, beer's sort of been the core part of it. We have a few beers now we record, and we've released a couple of beers. The last one we did was the back end of last year and a bit of merch. So yeah, we're just sort of seeing how far we can take it and having a bit of fun with it along the way.
Beautiful, mate. No, you're doing absolute great stuff, and by all reports, mate, you don't mind the ponies either. So, thanks so much for joining us. What were your thoughts on the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes at Flemington this weekend?
Just want to preface this as well by saying I'm probably one of the worst punters in all of Brisbane.
Mate, you're talking to two of the worst.
Yeah, I definitely love the ponies, but yeah, I wouldn't be taking any of this as gospel, but I'm going with G-Chart this weekend.
Yep.
Beat Nature Strip 2 years ago in the race. Pretty good first up record. Loves the track, loves the distance. And I think there's a bit of value there each way. I think I haven't checked the odds today, but I think it's about 330 to place. So
yeah, fair enough.
That's where I am this weekend. But yeah, as I said, you probably just tip any other horse in the race and you'll do better than me. So, but that's me this weekend.
No, mate, we thought he had a good case too. So definitely he's beaten Nature Strip, the favourite, 1,000 metres first up previously. So I think he's got a good case. Mate, what about across the rest of the weekend? Did you find a best bet across Australia?
I did. I thought we may as well just roll straight into the next race. And a bit of an unwritten rule in my family and also my friendship group is we just back anything that Paddy Payne trains. He's my granddad's favourite trainer. My granddad's an absolute battler who will probably be up at the Caloundra tab on Saturday if anyone's around. Say good day to him. But yeah, that's our unwritten rule, is just back Paddy Payne all day. So Cherry Tortoni in race 8. Again, pretty good record. I'm not too sure about the good track, but yeah, we'll be interesting to see how it runs fresh. And I think $10 and $3.30 to place is another good bet. So just take all your winnings from G-Tron and roll it straight into that, and thank me later.
Mate, you love some value. This is exactly what we want from the Drifter of the Week.
Yeah, well, it'll be late in the day at that stage, so I'll probably be trying to pull myself out of a hole. So we'll see how we go.
Mate, you'll be well and truly out of the hole after winning on Geitra, and then Cherry Tortoni will just be the cherry on top. Am I right?
That's it, mate. Yeah, exactly right. I'll just have to make sure I pack it up after that.
Sweet as.
Absolutely, mate. Well, that's all we really had for you there, Das. But thanks so much for coming on, mate. We might have to get Klutzy on in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be an interesting listen, I'm sure. But yeah, we can tee that up. Thanks so much for having me, boys.
No worries. Thanks again, mate.
Thanks, Darcy. See you, mate.
Thanks, boys.
See ya.
See ya.
Lovely young man. Great podcast.
Yeah, definitely check it out, guys. At Bloody Brilliant Beers. This is how things start.
Yeah.
You know? For us, it was, we just love horse racing. You bought some gear, and do you want to record this weekend?
Bought some gear. Didn't use it for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And I was like, COVID struck. Mate, let's do this thing.
Let's just go for it.
First episode was terrible. You couldn't hear us, where we actually explained what this podcast was when it used to be called the Polo Punk Club.
Yeah.
So if you really want to go back into the archives, that it is there still, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, it is what it is now. Look, we have a new studio, we have a desk, we have tripods, we have multiple camera angles.
Oh, all things you love to see.
And we have this thing, which allows us to get these brilliant guests on. So thanks again to Darcy. Check out all their stuff at Bloody Brilliant Beers on Instagram. They I think they did a strawberry and cream sour with Rebel Brewing.
Sheesh.
Came in, I don't know the exact countdown, but there's a beer countdown. It came number 39, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and yeah, they do like a almost like hottest 100 equivalent for craft beer.
So, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
They did a sour. So, yeah. Shout out to the boys. Klutzy, you're on next, bro.
Yeah, thanks so much, Darcy, for coming on.
Alrighty. Let's crack on here. Other races of the day.
Yeah, mate. Do you want to start in Sydney or do you want to start in Melbourne?
We've been talking about Flemington, so let's stay there. Race 4, the Talon Dirt. This for the 2-year-olds listed. Quality. Bit of a toughie here. You know, some resuming, some first up here.
Who won this last year? Was it Ingratiating?
Oh, yeah, it might have been.
I think it was down the straight. I think it would have been Ingratiating.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was.
So it produces decent horses, this race.
It does. Did you have any strong opinions here?
Nothing particularly strong. Look, I do like the look of Zanzella. She's on debut here, the filly with J-Mac on board. But it's interesting because J-Mac's never ridden anything for Mr. Kennywell, and there's been no trials. But, you know, with those silks, you're expecting a pretty decent horse, and $7.50 with Neds to find out. Look, interesting watch. For me, the two Godolphin colts as well, Renosu and Raccamello, will be two interesting watches as well, given the fact Ingratiating won this last year. Really keen to see how they go. Probably not a betting race for mine.
Yeah, no. Renosu was quite disappointing last start, in my humble. I think it finished last. I'm super interested to see how Miss Hellfire goes. Now, this formula has been tried and tested last week. Peter and Paul Snowden. They get another filly down to Melbourne here as a 2-year-old. And the market has reacted $9 into about 730-ish. What did flop in the Magic Millions, but that was after it went in there on the quick backup. I think Timmy Clark was riding that day and he said just didn't handle the quick backup, so it just was a little tired. Month in between runs here. Form prior isn't too bad. 15 is a bit sticky, but good racing pattern should go forward. So Miss Hellfire, number 10. What about race 6, the CS Hayes? I think a couple of years ago, this was when the New Zealand horse and Alligator Blood went stride for stride up the straight.
Is that this race?
I think so, because Alligator Blood won the Australian Guineas.
He did, yeah.
So this would have been the lead-up run.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, look, I don't mind Captivant in this. He's drawn a little bit sticky, and he was okay resuming pass mark. I don't think 1,200 metres is his go in the Eskimo Prince.
He got going late.
Yeah, he started to get going late. I think though he was purposefully underdone. Look, he came last in the Cox Plate, but that's the bloody Cox Plate before that. He challenged Animo in the Caulfield Guineas. So I don't think 1,400 metres is specifically his go, but I'm really keen to see how he goes. $1.1 million in prize money.
Wouldn't it be nice? I think Forgot You is the forgotten horse in this race.
Yep.
Near around the $10 here. Blinker's first time. Intention shown first up here. He is probably much better over further, I'll admit that. But Flemington's definitely his track. And look, I think others are vulnerable here.
Yeah.
So I think he's worth a spec, but agreed. Mate, how's Mark Zara going? He's getting... Did you see photos of him? He was a pissed man. He at least looked like a pissed man at the Super Bowl, and he's back riding this weekend. So credit to you, Mark. On the quick backup, he's one of the best. So he rides here. So, yeah, not a betting race for mine, but be interesting to see how it goes. Did we want to go to Rose Hill?
Yes, let's go to Rose Hill.
All right, Silver Slipper. Now, this should be very interesting for the Golden Slipper.
Yes, Home Affairs won this race last year, and he's now in the big leagues. This will be interesting. Again, we see the fillies taking on the boys, and we've got a favourite who's a filly whose form was well and truly franked last week with Revolutionary Miss winning.
spanked her.
Spanked her, yeah. So Queen of the Ball is a favourite in this. Do you think she'll be too good?
I'm just going elsewhere, looking for value, and it's more for my long-term Golden Slipper bet because I've found just, rummaging through the form guide, number 6 Spacewalk for Godolphin. Lady Laguna, who's my long-term spec in the Golden Slipper, I saw her trial during the week. My goodness. She was like Espiona, head to the side, had to be restrained. She was still strong through the line.
Yeah, she's a really good horse, Lady Laguna. We've spoken about this already, back to every start so far that she's run. Oh, look, I'm considering her for the Slipper as well.
Look, she's not running time at the moment, but she's only beating or being very, very competitive against who she's running against.
Yeah.
And the big tick against her is she's doing it. She was doing it on heavy 10s early.
Yeah.
So she gets through the going. Spacewalk, she beat this colt first up. So I'm at the $20. I'm just hoping this thing runs really well. And then, it's might be a launch job on the Golden Slipper for Lady Laguna.
Maybe. Look, I do admit Queen of the Ball will be hard to beat in this. I'll draw your attention to number 9, Magic. He cost $2.5 million, Magic.
Crikey, $34.
Yeah. So Pikey with the Hawks, proven combination. Yeah, look, watch the market. If the money comes for him late, definitely worth a spec. I like Ojai. I like Ojai because I backed it first up on debut when it won and it beat Queen of the Ball. It was only moderate last start when running 5th, which, Queen of the Ball won that race. But Mr. Cummings came out and said it was purposely underdone, like he likes to do after a race. But $8 with Neds at the moment. Yeah, keen to see how Ojai goes.
Yeah. Shout out to our good mate, Macca, who pulled off one of the great Golden Slipper swindles last year. He just rolled a lot of bonus bets into stay inside. Just kept rolling it in. He's doing the same thing with number 1 Charlatan.
He is, yeah.
Here. So keen to see how this horse goes. Has form around Shajard and 650 on offer.
Yeah.
Next race and the final one, I believe, is the Hobartville. Now, race 8 at Rose Hill. Does Animo just win this? Or?
Yeah. Yep. Animo wins this. Easy. Oh, mate, yeah. Look, the only thing I see potentially causing him some issues is Converge. No, but Animo is better than him. Look, yeah, he ran 3rd last start. That was over 1,200 metres. That's not his go. Against an enormous bias. That's not his go. Funnily enough, James Cummings came out and said that he was underdone after the race.
Mate, you could see that before the race. He was fat.
No, Animo will be beating these.
Yeah. Look, I'm looking through the blinds. I'm just peeking through. You know what I saw here?
What'd you see?
I saw 2 Chris Waller runners in the race. I saw one was scratched. Then I looked at race 9 on the program, and Giannis is running there. So I think both of them could potentially be a bet. So I think Ranch Hand, they want this horse to be winning this race here. McAvoy in the saddle, barrier 7 drawn perfectly. Was pretty fair first up against Paul Ailey. Just leveled out on his run. I think he could potentially upset Animo. I think he's the Quinella horse. And then, Giannis in the next race.
Yeah.
I think he is very, very well suited there. So, 54 kegs. McAvoy gets the run again. I think, Giannis could be the one there. Anyway, what about other races on the program? What's your best bets across the program? So not your best, but did you have one other than your best?
If you go to Rose Hill, we're already in Rose Hill, and you go to race 2, number 1, Rule of Law. It's a good last start for Bijan. Can he go for 5 wins in a row? I think he can, Rule of Law. I like him this weekend.
Lovely. Okay. I want you to go race 5, covering about every race this weekend.
Look at us go.
Benchmark 78, handicap, Mazu, number 1 for Peter and Paul Snowden. I'm tipping a weekend out for the Snowdens. Now, what I like about this horse, other than him being gelded, is has shown some real talent. In his 2-year-old year, he was just launching from the back. And now he's doing it from the front. So he's very versatile, has a great turn of foot either way. I think, from barrier 5's just going to get the absolute suck run here. I'm not too concerned about other horses in this race. I think he is definitely a top 3 chance at least. And then just a real quickie. I think my girl might be the first leg of the quaddie. Might not be. Race 4 maybe. Yeah, race 4, number 1, Crone.
Yeah, I saw that. Definitely saw that. Just want to shout out to CS Racing as well and the Parramatta Cup. Race 7, number 6, Shiraz. Resuming here, he was disappointing in the Buck Cummings, but he actually had a throat infection. So, look, here's a roughie, $41 with Neds at the moment. If you want to have a little spec each way, drifters. Ultimate goal is the Sydney Cup. Will be very lightly weighted there. So just keep an eye on Shiraz. That's number 6 in the Parramatta Cup, race 7, Rose Hill. Shout out to CS Racing.
Lovely. And what's your best of the day?
Animo. Easily.
Just remind me, what race is
so
that?
that's Rose Hill, race 8. He's number 1, the Mo. Piece of value, $1.75 drifters. Just remortgage your house and just launch.
That's fine. I'd tip to $1. I'd probably will start like $1.40.
$1.50, yeah.
Yeah, nice. She wasn't at the time, I swear. Flemington race 1, number 5, Crystal Pegasus. I think it's
a good punt.
I think it's just going to get J-Mac off to a flying start here. Now, last time I looked, he was about 330.
380 with Neds.
There you go. I think that's cracking bet. Only horse I'm really spooked by is the other Waller runner, shock me, is Russo, who was very impressive at Moonee Valley. But I think Crystal Pegasus. J-Mac gave it a good push today too.
I think it's a good bet.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Look, this was a great episode. We got through a lot of content.
We're talking horse racing this episode, guys.
Yeah.
You know, we weren't talking shit. We're talking horse racing. Yeah, look, I'm excited for this weekend. The Lightning will be an absolute barnstorming edition.
Yes.
Whoever wins that will do very well.
What I will say is this. If you are a
drifter.
If you're a drifter and you're potentially looking at horse ownership or something, stay tuned.
Okay.
There might be something coming in the next week.
This is a surprise to me as well.
No?
Oh, no, yeah.
You goose?
I was like, did we buy a horse? Are we buying a horse? Well, we are getting paid squillions. Shout out to our partner, Neds. I like to use the word partner rather than sponsor because, we're in this together.
We are. It is a partnership.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled and your ears open.
Yep.
Because we'll have a very special guest.
Oh, well said. Well, all the best to you. Hope we get past the first leg of at least one quaddie this weekend. But yeah, let's hope we get a few home.
Yeah, good luck, drifters, and gamble responsibly.
Yes, please do.
Catches.
Hooroo.